Hi, today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. And I'm going to share with you a conversation I had with one of my mentors several years ago. And he gave me a piece of experience from his life that I've never forgotten. I'm going to pass it on to you right now because I think of it often. I think of it in some of the darkest hours of my life and in some of my most difficult and challenging times. And every single time I remember it and bring it to the fore of my mind, it helps me and it works. And it is so simple and so easy. Well, easy is a relative term. I don't mean easy, I mean simple. And when I asked him a question, the question that I'm going to tell you I asked in a minute, I was expecting like this earth-shaking answer. And like I had my pen ready, I had a piece of paper ready. I was like ready for an earthquake answer that was going to change my life. And it really did change my life. But I didn't write it down because it was so simple. So let me set this up for you. Several years ago, I was in a coaching program, a business coaching program with a group of people and a leader, a mentor who was amazing. And he coached us for, I don't know, maybe I was in it for 5 years. The program went on for way longer before I joined. It had been going on for a while, but I joined and it went on for about 5 years after I joined, and then he closed it down. And just to give you some idea of how amazing this was, people cried when he closed this program down. I cried when he closed it down. And we begged him to keep it open. Like people were looking to like buy it from him so they could keep it going. And he was just not having it. He was going to close it down and it was over. And he kind of thought that like, it had run its course and it was time for it to end. It was time for him to move on to other things. So he did. And he closed it down. But before it ended, I remember asking him a question. Well, I asked him a million questions, but one of the questions I asked was, what do you do when you've tried something that you really want to accomplish, but you've tried a lot to create this thing in your life, but it just doesn't seem to be happening? And you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, and you think maybe the answer from the universe is that you shouldn't be doing this, but you keep feeling like you're supposed to be doing it, like it keeps coming back to you as what you're supposed to be doing. But every single time you try, it just falls flat. It doesn't happen. Something gets in the way, but it keeps coming back to you. What do you do? And the reason I asked him this question is because I kind of saw over the years, because I had been a client of his for 5 years, and I had been watching him for way longer than that, which is how I became a client, because I wanted to learn more from him closer up than just watching him on the internet or whatever. And so I asked him this question, and I like had my pen, my paper ready. I was all ready to get this answer. And I remember he kind of thought and he paused and he looked me like right in the eye and he said, "Well, Donna Maria, you have to get really good at starting over." And that's pretty much all he said. And I thought, like I'm ready to write down like, point one, point two, point three, and here's what you have to do, and backflips and like praying and maybe calling a bunch of people and taking a survey and analyzing yourself and doing a personality inventory and all these things. And he said, nope, you just got to start over. Like when you try and you don't make it, but you believe that this is what you're supposed to do, then you got to start over. Try again. Like, what do you think? Like, you know what? And I got to tell you, ever since then, I haven't thought for a second about something that I feel I'm supposed to do. I just try it again. It didn't work. I try it again. I don't mourn over it. I don't cry over it. I don't waste time thinking about whether I'm supposed to be doing it. I just go, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing this. And the fact that it's not working right now in this format is not going to deter me. I'm going to try again. I'm going to reformat. I'm going to, maybe I'm approaching this the wrong way. Maybe this is not the right time. Maybe I'm doing it with the wrong people. Maybe I have the wrong tools, but I know because this message keeps coming back to me that this is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to let it go for a minute, but I'm going to come back next quarter because I do quarterly planning. I'm going to come back next quarter. I'm going to try again. And maybe it'll work that time because I'm not going to rest and I'm not going to stop until either I stop getting a message that I'm supposed to be doing it or until I've tried again using another methodology or another approach or another team or another set of tools or whatever, and it works. That's it. So that's the secret. I really think it is because I learned this from him 5 or 6 years ago. It's before the pandemic. And I've implemented it in my life and it works. So now I pass it on to you as not really a piece of advice because I don't have advice, but I do have experience. And he passed that experience on to me, and now I'm passing it on to you. If you believe in your heart, because you have a message from God, you have a message from the universe, whatever you want to call it, that you are supposed to be doing something, and you've either tried in the past and it hasn't worked, and you've approached it from this angle and this angle and this angle, but you still believe that despite the fact that it hasn't quite been successful for you, but you believe that you're supposed to be doing it, I want you to regroup and I want you to hear these words. Get really good at starting over. I think really that's the key to life. People who live a long and successful life, understanding that they're not perfect, that nothing is perfect, but that life is a series of attempts to get it right. Life is a series of attempts to try again. Life is a series of failures and successes, failures and successes. It's a series of learnings. That's what it is. So unless you get really good at starting over, you're always going to be frustrated. But if your mindset is, you know what, I tried that, I'm going to try again. I tried that, I'm going to try again. I messed up that time, but I'm going to try again. Unless your mindset is, I'm going to get really good at starting over, you're never going to feel like you're making progress because you're always weighing yourself against some standard that you can't meet. But if your attitude is, you know what, I didn't make it this time, but I'm starting over. And hold yourself accountable. Like, don't let yourself off the hook. Don't like every day I'm starting over and use that as an excuse not to really put your best foot forward. Like, that's the danger of I'm starting tomorrow, I'm starting tomorrow. Don't get into that habit because that could be a hamster wheel of disaster. Like, that's the opposite end of the spectrum. Don't go there. But if your mindset is, I'm really trying to achieve this thing in my heart of hearts, and I'm going to put my best foot forward. But if I don't make it this time, I'm going to try again. I'm going to get really good at starting over. I loved that advice and that experience that he shared with me. I'm passing it on to you now. And I want to know what you think, because I really think if there is a secret, that's got to be it. Get really, really good at starting over. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let's talk about it, and I'll see you tomorrow.